Welcome to the DJALI Project Conversations, a podcast that celebrates diversity and representation in children's storytelling, entertainment, and edutainment. I am the host, Olunosen Louisa Ivaze. On this podcast, I chat with authors and creators of children's books, entertainment, and edutainment. This is also a collaboration with the Ottawa Black Book Club. So welcome, Hina and Nauman. Welcome to our Conversations podcast. The podcast is under the DJALI Project. When I started this podcast, I started it as a way of promoting diverse authors from all parts of the world who just basically, authors who have been underrepresented for a long time. So that's the reason why I started this podcast. And this is season 2 that we are recording presently. And I feel that this podcast has been a blessing so far, because it's been an excellent platform for chatting with authors about their work. And through this platform, I've got to meet very interesting people. So when you sent me this book all the way, and for viewers, Hina is joining me from Pakistan. So when you sent me this book, I started it, initially I was confused. And then I started laughing, as I kept on reading. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to talk to Hina and just ask her to talk to us more about the book, So the title of the book is Hanna and the Guardian of Nature, Born to be Naughty. So welcome, Hina. Tell me about yourself and what inspired you to write this book.
Well, I am the first Pakistani international middle grade children author. I live in Pakistan. Pakistan is a developing country. The problem with my country is people don't read books over here. And the main reason because of this, we don't have any international publishers over here. So whatever could be very easy for an author coming to your show could be a very big milestone for me. Even getting this book internationally publishing was a very big milestone for me. We don't have any international publishers over here. People don't read books. Even Amazon is not working in Pakistan. So it was everything was a milestone for me. Achieving over here, coming till now, now it's a thing. So for me, about myself, I'm a housewife. I got married immediately after completing my studies. So it was again a big milestone for me, because everything over here in Pakistan, the money transactions are done on cash system, whereas internationally it's plastic money, credit cards are used. So when I started writing the book, after writing the book, I had to get it published. I had to learn the banking systems, how to get it online. When you have to work with some other platform other than Pakistan, you have to know the banking systems, everything. And about my life, I have 3 little naughty kids. When I started writing this book, I realized my power, because I got to know that I'm a super mom, because they were always like jumping over here, someone was sitting on my head and I'm writing my book. So this was the time I got to know that, okay, being a mother is like a superhero. You are always, every mom is a superhero here when you're doing anything. You're multitasking. We are, as women, are always multitasking, I must say this thing.
Yeah.
So this is about myself, and you want to know about book, why I wrote a children's book.
Yes.
So the reason was, the main reason about writing a children's book was, there was a question in my mind always, that we were always told that the purest form of the love is the love of God always. But there was a question that where can we see this love of God in this world? Like, we can't wait to die and then see the love of God. Like, where can we find this love of God in this world? So I got to know the answer of this question in the eyes and hearts of the children. I realized that when you look into the eyes of any kid and just smile, give it a smile to that kid smiles back to you, regardless of the thing, of your race, your color, your anything you can say, what people say about you, they don't consider, they just smiles back to you. And this is what we are always told: if you smile at God, God smiles back to you. So if you want to see the purest form of love that is real, that does not say this, to see the things that who you are and what you are, they just love you for what you are, and you just love them, so they love you back. So I wanted to write the story for children, to let them enjoy their childhood, and to let them again connect with the nature, because now we as parents, when I see all around the world, the parents, they are more concerned about getting them involved in the artificial intelligence, because we say giving them gadgets because this is going to be the upcoming generation's life, so we have to get them used to it. But when we are getting them used to these things, we are getting them, like, we are cutting off a very important part of life, that was nature. Like, when we were kids, we used to go out, play, and these things, we are cutting a lot of these things also in their life. So we may get our children, making them more into the artificial intelligence more faster in their lives in the coming up times, but we are getting them into more depression because they don't know, because when they get depressed, how to deal with it. Because we know that I'm very much connected with the nature. I know when I'm depressed, it's time to me to connect with the nature. I have to go out, do some gardening and this thing, just to give my soul some more freshness. So I wanted to write this book. It is Hana, the guardian of nature, to let the children connect with the nature again with them, so that whenever in their life they feel sad, they're depressed, they know how to handle themselves. They can take this as a sign. It's time for us to connect with the nature, to connect with the souls and to the core of our own selves. So they should always have a soft corner for the nature in them.
Okay.
So this was the reason. And if you have seen, this book is like a first experiment done in the Kidlit, where you are given like social bloggings within the book. The reason was this, just to make the middle way in the artificial intelligence lifestyle and in the book reading and in the nature, to just give them a middle way to the children, so that they can read books, they can connect with the artificial intelligence, and at the meantime they can connect with the nature also. So this was the main concept of giving the hashtags and all the things, to give a new idea of reading for the new generation according to their needs.
Okay, that's beautiful, because I was going to ask you about the style of writing, but I'm going to come to that. But you said something about publishing in Pakistan and how difficult it can be. So if you don't have access to Amazon, how were you able to put your book on Amazon? How did you get your book on Amazon?
How did I got to? You have to get there's few things like Pioneer and all these things. You have different options then, because I can put the book, but no one can buy in Pakistan my book. We can make I can make an author account. But we cannot buy things from Amazon in Pakistan. Living in Pakistan, this is like there's some. There's some things like in Pakistan, we are a developing country. Lots of things that we are facing is due to the thing that our governments are very corrupt. They don't think about the development of the country. They think about their self-development. So I was very shocked to know when I got to know that even electronic signatures is not accepted for Pakistan. So there are hurdles like this. You come up and you don't like story origin. I can't go for story origin. I worked so much. I did my whole working, everything, and finally I got rejected with it, because they said your country do not have this law of accepting the electronic signatures. So it's quite painful, because I felt that I have talent, everything, but I cannot excel because of the limitations of my country. So, but I wish that if I become a famous international author, maybe the future generations in my country would like to become an international middle grade author, for which they had to read books and for which a change would come in my country. And I wait for that time, and I hope that this time would come soon for my country also.
Yeah, no, I understand I understand the challenges you are talking about, because I am from Nigeria. And I remember the first time when I went to do my postgraduate studies in the UK, I was trying to get a SIM for my mobile phone. And I will never forget that, because I cried that day. I was trying to call my parents. I couldn't call them. So because I had gone to the store and I had bought a SIM, and I was told that if I put in the SIM card and I top it up with airtime, I can call home. And I tried to call home. I couldn't get home. So I called customer service to ask them that I'm trying to call home and I can't get home. They said, where is home? I said, Nigeria. And they said, sorry, with this SIM card, this phone network, you cannot call two countries, Nigeria and Pakistan. Yeah. So, so most of the time when Pakistan is blacklisted, Nigeria is also blacklisted because of corruption, because of the thing. Yes, our people do. I understand. It's so sad that we have to suffer for it. Yeah, because when I was reading the book, I said when I talk to you today, as a writer too, I'm going to give you a few tips.
Yeah, sure. I would love to hear these things.
On language, because when you are approaching international publishers, because even if you cannot get your book published in Pakistan, you can submit your manuscript to international literary agents and you can submit to international publishers.
Yeah, I'm working on this now because I am working on it now. Now it is. But thank you.
Yeah, but one thing you need to be very careful about is language and choice of words. Because I remember I said I was going to ask you, because I've never been to Pakistan, but I have friends in Pakistan. The guy who does, all my children's books, my children's books, the person who does the formatting of my children's book, Shanwaz, he lives in Pakistan. And I remember when he did the first work for me, and I was trying to pay him. I said I'm going to pay you through PayPal, and he said PayPal doesn't work in Pakistan. So
we don't have PayPal. This is the main issue we can't work. I'm facing because I don't have PayPal because it's a very big issue. I cannot explain you how much problem I get.
So I have to pay him through Payona. I think Payona, that's what it's called. Yeah, so I have to pay him through.
PayPoint.
Yeah, I have to pay him through Payona or Payoneer. I think that's what it's called. So I have to pay. I have to pay him through that. I still have friends like this man I did my postgrad with. He's back in Pakistan too. Yeah, I mean I saw him yesterday and we communicated just briefly. So so most of the time I always say I'm always open to meeting different kinds of people because it's a learning opportunity for me. Yeah. So I wanted to ask something about Pakistan, right? I know that you have you have African people in Pakistan, right?
It's a mix. On the northern side, the color is like very fair, like the Europeans. When you come a little lower, it becomes like wheatish color, and when you get into the south, in the parts of Sindh, they're dark colors. They're really dark colors.
What about the Sindhi people of Pakistan? The Siddhis, because I remember the Siddhis of India.
They're dark. They're dark.
Yeah, but I'm seeing the CD here, and they're saying, let me see. So many of them are actually African descendants. They say they are probably descended from the Bantu people, so East Africa, because they look like me. I'm looking at them. They look like me. It's I just Googled it now because I know that they came a very long time ago and settled in Pakistan. Yeah, I'm looking at them, and it's very similar. Yeah. So
they're similar. The southern part. Look, I wrote it in my book also that in the South Asia, Pakistan comes in the South Asia. The southern side of Pakistan, the people are more like you, because they're more darker. Like when I'm from, you can say from the center, from the northern side, I get a lighter tone, and when you go to more of the northern sides of Pakistan, the color gets more lighter. But I think that was just a part to give to the introduction to the people who read this book, because people don't know about Pakistan, what kind of colors we have, what kind of hairs we have. So that's why I wanted to give the readers a little bit of information about Pakistan, that what kind of colors we have in Pakistan. But mostly the wheatish color is more common. Darker ones a few, but it's in the down side. But I wrote it in the book that it was in the South Asian parts, it come in this region, these colors.
Okay, so I was gonna tell you, I was gonna look through it and I tell you that as an editor, if you send this to an international editor, the first thing they are gonna flag. So the first place, anyway, I'm gonna edit all of this. I'm taking this out so it won't be recorded. But I remember you were saying first meet Hanna, and you were saying Hanna has short curly hair. She has many tight curls, just like African people. they are going to flag that. Yes. All you could just say is, Hannah has kinky hair. Yeah. You don't use that word to describe African hair. You are going to get into trouble. I'm telling you.
Okay, I don't know, but I take it as a compliment. I don't know, maybe it would be internationally, but I take it as a compliment because these are kind of the hairs I have, and I always take it as a compliment for myself that yes, I have hairs like African people.
Yes, I'm happy me and you are talking. So I'll explain what is happening down in the Western world now. There is the politics of African hair. People are very sensitive. Yes. People are very sensitive when it comes.
Okay.
All you could have just said was maybe she had tight curls or she had kinky hair and leave it. Yeah. But when you specify that any tight curls, somebody here could just pick it up and say, "Oh, Hina is racist," and then problem starts. You know, when I read it, laughing, and I said, you know, when I talk to Hina, I'm going to explain to her. And this let me read out this part where you were talking about the history, right? About God cooking, and then the burnt one was this. People too are going to be offended by that. Yes, they are going to be. Yes. So if an editor were to read this, an editor will ask you to take it out. Yes. You could. Yeah, because if you were going to talk about this history, you could only focus just on the parts that has to do with you and don't talk about other people. Because other people will come to you and say, "Oh, why is Hina saying this? Who in the hell does she think she is? Blah, blah, blah." And then they look, it's crazy things are happening here. Crazy things are happening here. Yeah, but when I saw it, I looked at it and I said, it's great that we're going to have a conversation about it, but I'm going to point it out. So let me go to your...
No, it's so grateful of you to tell me this thing, because I've never gone outside in the Europe side, traveled to Europe or America or this side of the region. So I don't know what kind of mindset the people over there have. So it's good to know me about this thing. So it's something that I told you that I take it as a compliment, but maybe the other person might get offended by this, because everyone is different and every region is different. One word can be appreciated in one language or in one region, and it can be make the people offended in the other language. So it's good that you told me this thing, because I have not traveled ever in Europe and to America, this side of the world. I've traveled within Asia, so
when I moved here, I had to learn a lot. I was almost in trouble, because I'll give you an example. So one day in the office, I was talking to this woman, and I was talking about this woman, and I was explaining that my colleague, she said, I mean, she's a woman. She has breasts, she's a woman. And after they left, somebody came to me and said to me, "Louisa, next time you don't talk like that." I said, "But I didn't say anything." They said, you called the woman a she. I said, "Yes, but she's a she." "Oh, no. She does not identify as a she." I said, "Okay, so what should I call her?" "Oh, she identifies as they or them." And I'm like, huh? What the hell? Yes. So even me as an African, I am learning, because sometimes, when people now, I ask people, what do you identify as? So I know if you identify as a table or as a cup or as a microphone, because you might be talking, thinking that you are being polite and not knowing that, people here, I don't know, but people here are very sensitive. Back home, we don't care. Yeah, everybody just moves on. Here, people are very sensitive. So everything you write, people, they will scrutinize it. "Oh no, you shouldn't have said that. No, why should you say this?" They scrutinize everything. So so for the international markets, those are things, that you need to be conscious of. The choice of language to use. Find out how people respond to things. So that you don't send up stuff and get into trouble, because they'll be like, "Why is Hina writing this kind of thing?" And you don't know. Because I understand that I would write like that. I don't know. But we keep learning. So I want to go into your book now, right? Hannah. How come Hannah has kinky hair? How come you have that type of hair? How come? We talk about the politics of hair. How come you have tight curls? How come?
I have it. It runs in my family. My grandmother had it, my mother had it, I have it, and even my little one have this. It's run in the family. It's made by God. God can make anything, anywhere in the world. He can make these kinds of hair in anywhere in part of the world.
Do you have African ancestry in your family?
No, I don't know, but it's like it's in the hands of the God. We can't say anything that I don't think so. It's like we can resemble to anyone.
Okay.
Anyone can resemble anything. God can make anyone, anything like this. So it's in the hands of the God.
Yeah. So talk to us about. Let me introduce everybody to Hanna. So everybody, this is Hanna. Watching, yes, this is Hanna. So tell us about Hanna. Why? Because when I was reading the book, I was touched by the fact that the reason why she was doing a lot of all these naughty things is because, one, she's an only child and she was just craving companionship. Yeah. She was not a bad child, she just wanted companionship. So talk to us about
Hanna. This is right.
Yes, talk to us about Hanna.
Hanna is a very sensitive child. I made this thing like she's very sensitive, she's very down to earth, but yet at the same time she is an extrovert personality who's always looking for fun, who's always getting involved in the things. But if you consider her home life is completely different with her personality. She don't have anyone in her home. Now when an extrovert is given an introvert environment, now what would that extrovert is going to do? He or she is going to turn now to be very naughty. He's going to do things to make herself busy. So this is what Hanna did. Hanna started becoming very naughty, and this is how the story goes on. And when she gets a companion, and it was her dream to have a companion in her life because she had an extrovert personality. So then she also wanted her to be naughty also, to become a partner with her. And this is how the story, this is the first part in this series. So the main aim of the series is to connect the children with the nature around them. I want the children to know and realize this fact that they are the guardians of the nature, and they have to save and protect this nature, and they have to become close to this nature. So this part was written very humorously because I wanted the children to connect themselves with Hanna, to love this character and to stay close to this character. So this is why the character is written very humorously, so they could feel this character, they could feel the naughtiness of this character, and when children are going to laugh on this character, they're going to laugh this character, and ultimately they are also going to enjoy the things of getting connected with the nature. Like eventually the series is going to turn out to tell the readers how to connect with the nature. So this is actually why the character is very humorous.
So why do you think it's important for children to connect with nature?
Connect with nature? It's really important. Isn't it important? Like what could be the best and the cheapest remedy of depression or anxiety? It's nature. Getting out in the nature, looking at the birds, giving food to the birds. And if we don't tell our children this cheapest remedy of life, we are taking a very big part from their life. So it's really important to tell them to connect with the nature, to always stay close with the nature, because we have to tell our children, no matter someone is there or someone is not there in your life, but nature is always going to be there in your life. So it's the cheapest remedy. Whenever you feel sad, you ever feel lonely, you don't have any friend, you don't have anything, you can always go out, give yourself a break, connect with the soul of yourself. And the best part is the nature. Always be connected with the nature.
Yeah, I remember when we were growing up, they used to say to us that it's important to go out in the morning, that early morning sun. I think they say it's an excellent source of, I think, vitamin D or so.
Yeah.
Yes, they always used to tell us.
Yeah, vitamin D.
Yeah, that's an excellent.
Yeah, sun gives you vitamin D.
Yeah, even yesterday morning when I went for my morning walk, it really felt so good.
Yeah.
Walking, because sometimes I go, you know what, I'm going to walk out in my house. But I discovered that, you walk out in the house, but it doesn't give you that. But when you go out, the sun is hitting your skin, you are taking in the fresh air, you are listening to the birds, there's the cool breeze, all of that. Yeah. Okay, that's nice. Because in this era of artificial intelligence, where children now are either watching TV, either on their phone, their iPads, their laptop, how do you think parents can help get their children more involved and more connected with nature?
Well, it is a very big hurdle for we as parents. So this is why I wrote this book, because I want them. I told you that there's a gap in reading now. I felt that there's a gap in the kidlit now. The generation is changing. The time scenarios are changing in this new century. It's an artificial world now. We have to provide new things in reading also. We have to cope with this new era. And for this era, the reading style and the kidlit style has to get to be changed. And for this, I give the social media tasks also to make them connect with the nature, to get them involved in the artificial intelligence also, and to know how to balance their life all the time, and to also make them connected with the reading part also. Reading is a very good habit also. We can always encourage our kids to get involved in reading, and the second part is to be involved in nature. So don't you see, we read books, but now kids want to get some social media tasks. They want to blog, they want to have their own channels and everything like this. They don't want to do reading, they find it boring because they just always want to be on the gadget. So this book gives them this opportunity that they can connect with the reading, they can connect with the internet blogging, and they can connect with the diversity also. And the other part I wanted to tell with this social media artificial intelligence was there's good and bad of everything. The best part of the social media intelligence by reading this book and giving these tasks is they can understand diversity for the first time. When a kid posts read this book in Turkey, for example, and they post something for the book, and someone also reading this book from, you can say, from USA, and they post their picture also, they can feel this thing that humans are same everywhere. The feelings, emotions are same everywhere. It's just the culture, the religions that just make them diverse them into different races, but human feelings and natures are everywhere the same. So even I don't think so, if a child is being bullied in Pakistan, or if a child faces bully in USA, the feelings and emotions of the child will be same in every religion, in every region. So but the scenarios could be different, and how they react to those scenarios, depends on the culture and you're brought up, how you're told to face the life. But the human feelings and emotions are same everywhere. So we have to, it's high time we tell our children that humans are same everywhere. We should have acceptance for every religion, for every race, for every person. Like you said about the girls and everything, they should have acceptance for everything, for everyone, because we as humans are same everywhere in emotions and in feelings. The only difference is the cultural differences and the further differences which we make ourselves as humans. Otherwise, the feelings and emotions, I don't find anywhere it's different. Even in children, anywhere it's different. They're not different. Feelings and emotions are same. So
I think the feeling of, it's like you said, the feeling of happiness, the feeling of pain is universal. Yes, there's no one definition of how to feel happy or how to feel sad. There is no one definition for that. So I'm gonna ask you the style of writing, because when I started reading the book initially, I was confused before I started to get the gist. So it started with warning that's in the beginning, where you said this is not an ordinary book. It does not even start in an ordinary way. Before reading any further, you must prove your eligibility. Prove that you are intelligent and observant by passing these nature challenges. Best of luck. If you succeed, you may learn the biggest hidden secret of nature. So that was page 1. So why did you choose this style of writing? Because when I opened after page 1, I expected to see chapter 1 of the book, and but it's a very different style of writing. So what style and why did you choose this style? What did you hope to achieve by choosing this style of writing?
Well, again, as I told you, the main concept of this series is to make the children. There's an aim of writing this series. The aim is to make them connect with the nature around. So the first thing is giving them tasks before reading this. They should first start connecting themselves with the nature. The tasks are some nature tasks, like have you ever seen a crow nest on the branch of the trees? And it's very rare. We have seen a sparrow nest or things, but finding a crow nest is like a quest. You have to find a crow nest, and it's on the top or it's on the branch of the tree. So it's going to make the children's mind open about the nature. First, I wanted the children to open themselves for nature. They should welcome the nature. They should find some thrill in the nature. Their nature is also interesting. You have different things you can find in nature also. And then they should connect. First of all, they should start connecting with the nature, and they should know about this. The first part was to give them a bit of introduction with the nature so that they get connected, and then they should feel the naughtiness of Hana, and they should love the character. And the first motive of this book was to make them a bit connected with the nature and to love the character of Hana. This was only the main part for this book, the aim of this first book in the series.
Okay. Yeah, because that is great. So what are some of the challenges you feel that children's authors, do you have a lot of children's authors in Pakistan?
No, we don't have any children authors. It's quite pity. It's quite pity for Pakistan, because there's very few, you can say, and they're writing it locally, not internationally.
Okay.
Yeah. It's quite pity for Pakistan.
So where do you get
the problem is, the problem is about the culture. In our culture, book reading isn't any common. When the book reading isn't common, we don't have authors. When you don't read books, children always want to follow the stars. So who are the stars? Who are always praised everywhere in the world? When we don't have any authors, we don't have any international authors, children don't find their dreams of becoming an author. When they don't find a dream of becoming an author, they don't read books. So It's quite a pity. And this is why we are not developing. Because when you start reading books, you go into self-development. And once you go into self-development, you go for nation development. So it's quite a pity that we as a nation don't read books. I told you, it's a hurdle being an author. And my wish and my dream is that I become as famous as J.K. Rowling or anyone else, big names, so that the children of my country should have this dream of becoming an author. They should start reading books. They should go into self-development. Once they go into self-development, they can go for nation development also. And maybe one day we can see that we as a nation start growing and rising up also.
Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. Because, and why do you think that reading for children has not been prioritized in Pakistan? Why do you think so?
There are a lot of reasons. Because it's some kind of cultural also. The literacy rate is quite low over here in Pakistan. And once the literacy rate is quite low, and then the other fact is when the people who are literate also, they don't go for reading. They it's like they feel like they are reading the books, the course books, the outline, the books there in the schools. That is enough for them. So they don't want to, because reading is of the thing that we as parents have to tell our children from the very beginning. We have to put this in our children that they should go for reading, or once you grow up, you go for the reading stuff. But we as parents don't put them into children. It's like something you can say in the culture that because I think the literacy rate is quite low, and now it's getting a bit high that people are getting reading and now studying. But in some areas in Pakistan, like in the extreme north, like Hunza, and the literacy rate is 100% in some areas, and where people are also reading and they're good. But more, if you genetically talk about Pakistan, the literacy rate is quite low, so it's quite painful. And the other thing is, the problem is, in Pakistan, people don't admire their own language, Urdu. So when they don't admire their own language, their mother tongue, so there comes a gap between English and Urdu.
Okay.
And then there comes a gap in reading also, finding authors. The best part of reading is you find something to read according to your own culture, your own values, and that makes you more fun, first of all. So when they don't find things like this, so I think it becomes boring for the kids also, because connecting with the reading, the writer, international author, sometimes you have, why you read international authors? To know about the world around you, the outside the world than your country. But over here in Pakistan, we don't have authors writing for our own within our own culture, so there's a lot of gap and a lot of problems. So I don't know how this thing, I just only told you, I believe the problem could only be solved when we start giving children this dream of a profession of being authors and writers. Because over here, if I ask, go to schools, and if I ask students like, what do you want to become, they would say doctor, engineers, pilots, everything, but none would say I would become a writer and an author. And this is the answer, because we don't focus on reading.
Yeah, because if they don't see successful authors, then there's nothing to motivate them. Okay, so how do you think you can promote positive reading culture amongst children in Pakistan? How do you think you can encourage families to motivate their children to read, or to encourage their kids to start to
I already told you, I can encourage them that yes, reading is very good in this, but ultimately we as humans are very materialistic. We always see what we can get, what is the benefit of it. So if they see my success, as I told you already, they could have this thing that yes, reading is quite a thing, because I read a lot of books, I write, I got so successful in the world, my name is known all around the world. So they would also love their child to read also, because it's an inbuilt thing in we as humans, that we are materialistics, because we always look for the stars and see what's shiny and glittery, and we follow those things. So again, I think because when you have to change the masses, you have to do something big. First you have to become something big, then you can change the masses. You can't change the masses unless or until you don't become something big. So the main issue which I think, and I always say in any interview I used to get, that if you ask me how I can change the culture in my country, it's only that if I become so successful, then they could have a dream of following the stars. If I don't even become it, they don't bother about. They would say, okay, one tried, they failed, and no one wants to follow a failure. So that is.
So this book, have you had the opportunity to read this book in schools? Like visit primary schools and read chapters of the book to kids? Have you had the opportunity to do that?
It's quite unfortunate. I told 2-3 schools, I emailed them, but it wasn't, because I told you we don't have authors over here. It's like they never had this thing in schools. I also told them, but they were again into the things that no, it won't be like, and something. They didn't encourage. The schools didn't even encourage it, because we don't have any authors. We don't even have once we don't have any authors, how can we have author visits to school over here in Pakistan? There isn't any author visits to schools over here in Pakistan. So it's quite unfortunate. I already told you in the start of this interview, every little step which could be very easy for a person or an author coming to your show would be very easy for that author, but for me it was a milestone. Everything is a milestone for me, and every little step which I take is like an achievement for me towards moving forward. So this is the thing.
Well, so I must commend you on your determination, because despite all these challenges, you have gotten to this. Because when I got the book, initially I was looking at it and I was saying, is this a book or you just put everything together? But I told myself that there must be a story behind this. And that's why I said it would be great. I'm looking forward to chatting with you. Just so now you've given me a clear picture of what publishing is like in Pakistan and the challenges. We too in Nigeria, we have similar challenges, but ours is a bit different because I mean we are still working on promoting positive reading culture. But the thing is that books are expensive. So if you are saying you want to reading culture and the books are not accessible because they are expensive, then that is a challenge. How does the common man access, how can the masses access books that are too, I mean, if it's too expensive, then they can't access it. That money, the money they would spend buying those books, they would rather use it to eat. So
I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off. It reminded me of one thing also. We as parents over here in Pakistan, if there's a birthday, we would rather go for a toy to give it to our kid instead of buying them a book. Books are expensive over here, but similarly toys are expensive also. But we would rather prefer spending our money on a toy than giving them some book, because when we give a book to a kid, we have to give them our time. We have to give some time to the kid to make it read. So we as parents are always looking the easy way out. We don't want to give time to our kids also. So this is also a point I feel also. We give toys. Okay, get yourself involved in the toy. We don't have to put it. You can have any new game in your Xbox or in your PlayStation, or you can have any other toy. We don't have to give time to them for this. But for the book, we have to give time also to the kid. So this is also a scenario I feel that in our culture is important.
Yeah, I think that's very important, because I remember that here in Nigeria, when you have birthday parties, we do party packs. So in your party pack, most of the time, all these party packs, there'll be sweets, toys, all of that. Most of the time I usually encourage put books in there. Add books to it for kids. But because of the cost of books and because they are expensive, sometimes people go and get second-hand books, because that's another option. Second-hand books before used to be very accessible. But I think now with all the trade, the laws and all of that now, even those second-hand books are hard to come by. And even when you find those second-hand books, they are expensive. So it means that the masses still can't afford it. That is a struggle. Yeah. What do you think that the government can do to make publishing of children's books easier and access to children's books easier for you in Pakistan? What do you think the government can do?
They should bring some international publishers over here in Pakistan, because the kids over here in Pakistan genetically, not I'm saying about the 5% or the 10% of the Pakistani kids who get this opportunity to read books from international publishers or anything, but genetically people over here in Pakistan, we as parents don't know what the international most famous writers, like other than Harry Potter series, we don't know about more of the good books about children's, and this is a problem. They should bring the international publishing houses in Pakistan. If I look into our neighboring country, India, they're having many international publishing houses in India, but in Pakistan we have none. So this is quite a thing. But again, the fact is, you can't do anything unless or until the government doesn't want to do anything, and it's a different debate in Pakistan, because when governments are corrupt, you can't say anything about it. So it's up to when the governments get good and they start thinking about the welfare of the nation, of the welfare of the people and the society, then the things might change. Unless or until, you can't say anything right now.
Okay, so if you had other children's authors in Pakistan, if you had, let's say, like you are one now that I know that, okay, there's you. So let's say you had 3 or 4 other authors, children's authors in Pakistan. How do you think, is there a way you all can collaborate to do something together for children, to promote children's books? Would that be possible? Is that possible? Is that possible for you?
I think it's a good idea. It's a good idea because if we have it, first we can meet and we can brainstorm. I cannot give an idea right now unless and until when you have the people with same backgrounds, with similar difficulties sitting together, they can brainstorm all the difficulties and can come up with a solution. A single person, it's difficult for a single person to brainstorm and fight and see for the things. When 2-3 people people are involved, they become a team and they can work more on it and genetically on it. So I hope for that time, that the time like this comes up. But there are few, like one or two, they're working in picture books, they're internationally working in the picture books. The international the Society of Children books internationally, I became a member of it, and from there I got to know about another author from Pakistan. She's a lady, she works with the picture books. I work with the middle grade and she works in the picture books, but she was from a different city, and she was from Karachi, from the southern side. I was from the northern side, Lahore. So we cannot meet physically, but we talked on phone and we shared the ideas when I was having few things about my book regarding this thing. So we can help each other on individual level, but for more things to work collectively on the nation level, have to be very big team, a strong team. Like one or two person can individually help each other, give ideas like you can do this for some good works. So this is
yeah, because I'm just thinking about it now. You know how they say it's like a white elephant project. It's almost an impossible project for you just to have two people, but it usually starts with an idea. It starts with you. Like people will always say, it starts with you, and then from you connecting with another person, and that person connecting with another person, and building networks. And good, and connecting with us internationally. Like the fantastic thing now is that now you come on my show, when your episode airs, you can repost it so that people see that, there's Hina writes books we didn't know. Yeah, because I think so. Is it possible to leverage on social media? Like, what is social media like in Pakistan? Because like I use social media to promote my work. I use Twitter, I use Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook to promote my work. What do you guys use? What do you guys have?
Social media is active everywhere. Social media is active everywhere in the world. I use Instagram. I have my official Instagram page because there are people who read my book and they follow me on Instagram also. But again, it's like internationally you can say it for the page. Like whoever reads my book, they follow me on Instagram. And if you say about locally, yes, people got to know about it. Yes, I write books and this. But again, the problem is like book reading. I told you, book reading isn't common over here in Pakistan. So this is the main issue. We have to cater this issue first. Then it would be more like we would. What I feel in my culture, people would rather prefer to follow a celebrity, a film star, a movie star more than an author. So this is these are the things you.
No, I think that's the same everywhere, because even though I live in India, I remember when I was talking about starting this podcast, and I was saying to my friend that if I decide to start this podcast, I'm not going to have guests because I'm not a celebrity. Who knows me? But I was surprised at the number of people who reached out to say we're interested in being featured, which was great. Yeah. So I think sometimes in life is self-doubt. We think that if we decide to start something or start a movement, we won't get the kind of response we are hoping for. But I think consistency and determination sometimes helps. Yeah. Because, I think so. But I'm actually very intrigued that this is the first time I'm actually hearing about, from your side of the story, because I would never have guessed. I was just thinking that just the way people write books in different countries is the same in Pakistan. I didn't know that there were such challenges to writing, to producing books and stuff. So talk us through your writing process. What is your writing process like? Do you write in the evenings? Do you write in the daytime? How do you go about writing? How long did it take you to finish this book?
Well, this was my dream project. I always wanted to write a story about this thing. So, and life is full of incidents. This was the story I always wanted to write, but I never got time. So, 2 years back, I got COVID, and It was those isolation days when I thought that this is the time life has given me to do the dream work I always wanted to do. So why not avail this opportunity and write the story for which I always wanted to write. So in that time I wrote the stories, and again I tell you, it's about life, how you perceive life. Like I saw people getting COVID and they were like so much devastated, like, oh, what would happen, how would we really spend our time in isolation. It's like the two sides of the coin, how you take life. And I was so happy when I got COVID. I said, oh, it's like a holiday, no one is going to disturb me in those days, and I will write my story which I always wanted to do. So I always believe that it's the person within you who perceives the things around yourself. It's not the environment, it's you who perceive the things. And there's a very famous saying in English, like, when life gives you lemon, it's you who is going to make lemonade from it. So whatever life throws to you, it's up to you how you make it.
Okay. So how long did it take you to write this book? How many months?
Well, actually, it doesn't take a long bit, because I told you it's my dream project. I was writing it from from like past 5 years, like a bit through small portions. And then when I got COVID, I thought, like, these 5 days of isolation, I am going to put it day and night and write this story which I wanted to do. So it was all that, and afterwards I opted for an editor from Redinse. And again, it was a challenge because we don't have any international publishers or editors. I researched a lot on internet how to find an international editor, and I got to know Redinse is the best platform right now. So I joined Redinse first of all, and I started writing them for their contest. And luckily, I never I got my stories got published in their contest, but it never won, but it got published. So that was also an achievement for me, because previously I didn't had any writing work, and I was just writing, and they appreciated my work. From there, I met Sarah. Sarah was a very good editor and a very down to earth person, and she liked my work and she edited it. And I'm more than grateful to Sarah for doing an excellent job with this book. And she also, when she marked me back the works, and she made me write a few more chapters, like this could be a better arc for the story and this. So it took like 1 month we're working with Sarah, so it ended up. And even this cover, this cover was also, the big effort for this was also Sarah's effort, because we don't have I didn't know any about the international illustrators over here in Pakistan who can work with me on the books also. So I asked Sarah, and I was also out of money also. Sarah helped me out. She found an illustrator who took quite a minimal amount from me, and she made this book cover, and I'm quite grateful to Sarah for her brilliant work.
Do you have access to Fiverr in Pakistan? Do you have
Sorry?
access to Fiverr? So do you have access to Fiverr?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Fiverr. But there's a lot of fraud in Fiverr also. You have to be very choosy, because I choose 2-3 people, and then when I look into their experience and their reviews, and you get to know that okay, it's kind of like fraud. You cannot test people on Fiverr so much. But Redinse is a very trustworthy platform, I must say, because they take everyone after a lot of research from themselves. Fiverr is like anyone can put their profile on it, and it could be a fraud, it could be anything. So it's like a candy, you were just opening it, and how will it taste, you don't know. It's like this.
So would you like to read a part of your book to us?
Yeah, sure, I would love to.
Yes, please, sir.
What part would you like me to read?
Any part you want to read. Any part you want to read. I like to give authors the freedom to do that. Read any portion, just on the page, so I can open it up here.
Let me start with the first chapter, or with anything you would preferably say. I would.
Or any
First chapter?
anything, no, any.
Okay. First meet Hanna. Hanna has short curly hair. She has many tight curls, just like African people. They are cut in waka style. All the curls bounce around on her head like a big curly hat. Anyone who looks at Hanna cannot avoid noticing her hair. In fact, her hair is so curly that if a mosquito is unfortunate enough to land in her hair, it cannot find its way back to the world again, for it gets stuck in the maze of curls. It must spend the rest of its life wandering across Hannah's head, making a most annoying sound. Pee! Pee! Eventually, Hannah's mother must shampoo this child's head to put that mosquito to death. Finally, Hannah can relax. Ah, what a bomb-blast, messy, curly hair she has. Hannah has two tiny, miny, shiny, black, sparkling eyeballs floating in the big, long, glossy, white galaxy of her eyes. Her eyes are long and thick, but because of her face shape, her eyes blend in, making them look just a little bigger than average. They blend together just right in her round face. Her deep, shiny, sparkling, sharp, long eyes are full of mischief. When she smiles, an obvious twinkle gleams in her eyes. Her eyes are the gates of her mind. Whenever she's thinking of mischief, a brilliant twinkle gleams from her eyes. This is the first sign of naughtiness. This comes with a contented smile on her face. Her lips are soft and delicate. When she smiles, it is impossible to see that she is hiding some secret mischief. But she usually is. These traits and smiley, innocent lips complement her strategy for appearing like she is all done with mischief. She cleverly keeps everyone confused by looking innocent and keeping straight lips when anyone is wondering who the culprit is. Hannah has a pleasant, lovely, flawless, light, goldish, wheatish, white-colored skin. This is not uncommon in the region where she lives, which is Pakistan. But not everyone has such flawless skin. It is absolutely perfect in Hannah, with not a blemish or scotch to be seen. Surely God has made Hannah very intentionally.
Oh,
Here's a picture of Hannah with her curly hat here. Yeah.
This one, yeah?
Yeah, this one.
I saw it, yeah, I saw it. I saw it. This is very nice. This is very endearing. Yeah. So what do you hope to see for your books? What future do you hope to see for your books?
I see quite a bright future for my books. I am not a depressed person who go into depression and say that life is nothing. I say that life is beyond the stars. There's more to come up in life, and it's going to come up, and I'm sure that this book is going to be in every kid's hand soon in the coming years.
Okay. So, if people want to buy your books, where can they find your book to buy?
You can buy it on Amazon and Kobo. It's available both on both the platforms, Amazon and Kobo. Amazon has some territory barriers. It's not available everywhere in the world, but Kobo is available everywhere in the world. The best part of Kobo is it's available everywhere in the world. And it's an ebook. Anyone can download it in its gadget. So it's quite easy.
Okay. And if your social media handles, if people want to follow you just to see what you are up to?
Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram. I am not very much, you can say, a gadget person. I am quite lame in this, so I just made an Instagram account.
Okay,
so anyone who wants to follow me can follow me on Instagram.
What is your Instagram handle? Just in case.
Hina Nauman Official. Hina Nauman Official.
Hina Nauman Official. Okay. Okay. Hina Nauman Official.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to say a very big thank you. I mean, if you want to talk more, do you want to talk more about any other context of the book? Is there any part of the book you really want to talk about?
I would just like to end it up with the book blurb, so that it would give a summary of the book, that what the book is, and what they could expect it from the book.
Okay.
How naughty can one child be? Sorry, can I start with the blurb?
Yeah, sure. Start. Go ahead.
Good. How naughty can one child be? Did you ever put lizards in the food to end some boring adult party? Or did you ever wear a secret ring to mess with kids who annoy you? Did you ever have this motto? If someone gives you pee to drink, simply give them a potty to eat. Imagine a kid like this. Then imagine a kid like this makes her naughtiness double with the perfect addition of a best friend forever in her life. If you've imagined all this, then it is time to meet Hanna from the series Hanna the Guardian of Nature. Hanna's mischievous spirit is about to press her to one of her most daring thrills in these summer vacations. Do not confuse your head with guardianship and naughtiness going hand in hand. Simply read the book and let the confusion rest in peace. The first book in the Hanna the Guardian of Nature series is filled with humorous adventures and thoughtful moments. More excitement is to come through since this is only the first step in Hanna's mission to make all the children in the world read her series and become true guardians of nature just like her.
Thank you so much, Hina. Okay, all right.
Thank you for having me on your show. It was a lovely talking to you, and it's very memorable. I will always remember it. Thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend, and thank you so much. May God bless you. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye. Regards to the kids.
Bye.